perhaps the last question is, if you had a complete blank canvas in front of you and you could design and the top three actions you would take to really crank up data culture in an organization, where would you invest your money?
Yeah, so um, in BI right now, if you look and like pull up everyone's website, almost everyone has some version of modern data teams collaborating, team data modern collaborate. Uh, like everybody knows, like, and everybody's saying like, where's the Figma of data, right? Like Figma's been such a incredible, both just like growth story, but also a tool that changed how people interacted with design inside of orgs, right? They brought more people in by facilitating collaboration. So everybody is, it's like obviously like, how is this, how do we do this in data? And honestly, like I don't think we've seen a great answer yet. So far we've seen some versions of multiplayer mode where multiple people can type in the same SQL ID or notebook style interface, and we've seen comments being added. And I don't think enough has been really thought about how to bridge the gap between data people and business people. So, for instance, in Figma, as a non-designer, I can still kind of like draw a little square and
Get the feel for.
vaguely represent what I'm hoping to create. In data, there isn't an equivalent of this. Why doesn't any of the tools support me making a crappy looking graph of essentially what I'd like to see? Like there needs to be more thought about how to help business people speak
Express
a
their
little bit of
needs.
data language.
Yeah.
And so I'd love to see one of the tools, try to cross that gap, because I think that would really unlock a lot of data literacy stuff, a lot of bringing more people into the data process. So I'm excited about that. I think the other big trend that is just getting started in my mind is what you're seeing with Stripe Sigma. So they're providing a SQL interface to your data within Stripe. Cool. So what they're essentially doing is creating their own kind of miniature modern data stack that then they're exposing the analytics part to you. And this is like a huge evolution in what modern data stacks could do. And it's also, to me at least, signaling that you're going to start getting even higher quality and much, much more data from source hell.
Yes.
That could really, again, increase data quality, more stuff will get built on, quality demands go up. So I'm excited to see where that goes. And then lastly, we've already talked about this a decent amount, but just analytics engineering kind of leveling up, getting more of the sort of support tooling that software engineers have. Again, that stuff around observability, stuff around proactive data quality stuff, like that's a really exciting space to me. So those are kind of the three things I'm looking forward to manifesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna add to that a bit of curiosity. I like to, there's we all been kids, obviously. There's no escape from that. And one of the things you do when you're a kid, you explore, right? You ask questions. Why? You take nothing for granted. Even if when someone gives you an explanation, you keep your answer often is yes, but why? And asking yes but why with kindness, no, not with I don't trust what you're saying, but I tell me more because I really want to know more. I think it's something powerful, and it's underrated, underestimated. There's a lot of people putting on masks that not to show their vulnerabilities, and it'd be really nice to work in a culture where it is welcome not to know, and nobody will ever think less of you if you raise your question. You're like, guys, folks, I have no idea what you're talking about. Can you give me a high level
Yeah.
explanation?
Yeah.
Because then, yeah, you're open to learn.
I mean, to extend that for a second, that, and this is a phrase Dave, the founder of Charter, used to say all the time. It's like, what if only 10% of your company could use Google? Um, and that's kind of the situation with data and BI inside of companies where, there's a few barriers. Currently, there's SQL or BI interface. That's still like a huge challenge to get over. Beyond that, there is, again, just this data quality issue. Can I understand it? Is it correct? How complex is it? Um, and those two forces are really preventing people from being able to be curious. Um, and then I think you can also add maybe like there's a lack of social collaboration potential as well. It's still kind
Yes.
of floating around there. And so all those things are preventing the curious from getting their answers. And those are all the things that I hope get solved over the next few years so that more people can ask why.
There you go. I would leave it at that. That's definitely a hope of mine too, and certainly embodied in the new logo of Discovering Data. That pink smile ish on the side of the brain is there. I don't know if it was intuitive or not, but it's, believe it or not, there to signify the emotional brain and all this uh, biases that we have, cognitive, emotional biases, and just a way to stimulate. And it's an invitation to stimulate curiosity. You don't have to know all the answers, especially if you're a senior. If you're a director, if you're a VP, you're expected to know already everything. Well, it's okay not to know, because guess what? Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows the whole story. We have, areas of expertise. And so the higher up you are, the better I think you can benefit from a wider understanding. So, yes, to the generalists, we need specialists too, but let's not forget about the generalists. And with that, I think I want to ask you, I want to thank you for sharing your insights, your wisdom with me. Yet a reminder: the Informed Company. It's on Amazon. Get your book and join the conversation on LinkedIn.